Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are cutting through all the noise to get to something really fundamental about the newest AI. It's memory.
Yeah.
And the mission for this deep dive is to tackle one really big question. How do the largest, most powerful digital brains remember the very beginning of a story when that story is, like, millions of words long?
It's the critical engineering challenge right now. People call it the long memory problem. And the sources we have kind of give us a peek under the hood at two amazing new architectures, Alibaba's Qwen and NVIDIA's Nematron.
And these are designed specifically to solve this.
Exactly. They're designed to solve this. This is all about shifting AI from just, spitting back data to actually performing complex reasoning over a really long time.
Okay, so let's start with a simple analogy, because if you don't get the problem, the solutions won't make any sense.
Right.
Imagine you're trying to read an entire year's worth of bedtime stories. Let's say it's 4 million chunks of information, all in one giant scroll.
A huge scroll.
You start on January 1st, reading everything. By the time you get to, say, December 31st, how well do you actually remember the name of the first character? Or that one critical clue on page 2?
You don't. I mean, it's incredibly hard to keep that beginning part fresh in your mind.
And that maps perfectly to the technical problem, right?
Perfectly. When we talk about long context, we're talking about the size of that scroll, the context window. And it's measured in these chunks called tokens. Models can now handle up to 4 million of them.
Which sounds insane. That's thousands of pages of text.
It is. Thousands of pages in a single go.
So it sounds like a super powerful brain, but what's the catch? Why doesn't just making the scroll bigger automatically make the memory better?
The catch is, it's in the mechanics of how they pay attention. Older models, the ones built on the standard transformer architecture, they sort of treat every new word with equal
Think
importance.
that everything is just another piece of data.
Yeah, and by the time the model gets to the 4 millionth token, the first facts, tokens 1 through 10,000, are just buried. They're buried so deep under all the new information.
And this is that progressive information loss you hear about.
That's it. The beginning of the text just fades out. It's like a memory decay curve. The model might know the last few pages perfectly, but it can't connect that back to something it read hours ago.
The story falls apart.
Precisely. And that's exactly what Alibaba set out to fix with their new model, QwenLong-L1.5. It's built on their Qwen architecture, which is already pretty famous for being multilingual. It handles Chinese, English, French, Japanese, a ton of languages.
So this wasn't just a small update. This was a fundamental rewrite of how it works.
A total re-engineering. QwenLong-L1.5 is Alibaba's big play to compete with giants like GPT-5 and Gemini-2.5-Pro, but specifically on this long context problem. They had to change how the AI remembers.
Which brings us to their big innovation, this memory-augmented architecture.
Right. So they moved away from the AI just passively reading. Instead, they gave it an active memory function based on a concept called Remember-1.
Okay, so this is where the memory notebook analogy comes in.
A great analogy.
Instead of trying to hold 4 million pages in its head, the model gets a little digital notebook.
Yeah.
But how does it decide what's an important clue to write down? Is that another layer of training?
That is a brilliant question, because that decision is the magic here. The model is trained to spot what's salient, the key characters, relationships, the big plot twists, and it condenses them.
So it's not just copy-pasting.
No, not at all. It's compression. It's summarizing a whole chapter down into, like, one critical bullet point, a memory tag.
Just that compression must save a ton of computation. But the real power is this callback mechanism you mentioned. How does it pull that memory tag back into the present?
The callback is what allows for what they call nonlinear reasoning. So when the AI is processing something way at the end of the document, it doesn't just look at the words right around it. It can generate a callback query.
A search term, basically.
Exactly, a search term for its own memory notebook. It might ask itself, hey, what did I learn about the villain's motive back in Act 1? And it can instantly pull up that critical fact.
So it connects page 2 to page 3000.
Instantly. It can leapfrog across time. It pauses its reading to reference the past, which is what lets it be a real detective. It's not just absorbing, it's synthesizing.
And to make sure this new brain actually worked, the Alibaba team didn't just give it easy books to read. I saw they built this massive data synthesis pipeline.
Yeah, they gave it really tricky homework.
Tricky homework. What does that even mean for an AI?
They created these synthetic puzzles called multi-hop reasoning puzzles. This means the answer needed, like 3 or 4 different clues that were scattered really far apart in the story.
So if it had that memory loss problem, it would fail every single time.
Every time. And he even tried to confuse it. I saw they were mixing in tons of irrelevant documents.
Right, that was the really interesting part.
Yeah, they'd hide phrases like, my password is blah, 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 inside a scientific paper, just to force the model to learn the difference between a real clue and, noise.
It had to learn to be a real detective.
They had to filter everything. And that specialized training, it really worked. The sources show that QwenLong-L1.5, which is only a 30 billion parameter model, is getting scores comparable to the huge flagship models.
Like GPT-5 and Gemini-2.5-Pro?
On these specific long context tests, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the achievement, getting that top-tier performance from a smaller, smarter brain that's just built to handle memory better.
So Qwen basically proved you can teach an AI to be a great detective if you just give it a good notebook.
A really reliable memory assistant. But that brings up a different question. Can you teach it to be a detective and make the whole process faster and cheaper? And that's where NVIDIA's Nematron comes in with a totally different design.
Okay, so we're shifting from memory storage to processing speed. Let's talk about Nematron 3 Nano. It's also a 30 billion parameter model. What makes its brain different?
Nematron uses something called a hybrid mixture of experts, or MOE.
MOE.
Yeah, and it combines that with different processing layers, like standard transformer attention and this newer tech called Mamba 2. The whole design is just built for speed and efficiency.
Mixture of experts. That sounds complicated. How can we picture that?
Okay, think of it like Nematron has a team of 128 tiny, specialized consultants just waiting. In a normal model, every single one of those consultants has to wake up and work on every single word.
Which is really expensive computationally.
Hugely expensive.
Yeah.
But with Nematron's MOE design, for any given word, only about 5 of those 128 experts wake up to do the work. The rest go to sleep.
That's brilliant. So you get the power of a 30 billion parameter model, but the active part of the brain is way smaller.
Much smaller. Only about 3.5 billion parameters are working at any one time. It just slashes the computational cost and speeds everything up.
And what about the hybrid part, the Mamba 2?
That's important because it helps the model handle those super long sequences of text more efficiently than the standard transformer layers can by themselves. It's really built for speed across that whole long scroll.
So Nematron's goal isn't just about memory tags like Qwen. It's about making the entire thinking process fast enough to handle millions of tokens without forgetting. And it has that signature feature, the reasoning trace.
Yes, and that is its key contribution to making it trustworthy.
Yeah.
The reasoning trace is basically the AI thinking out loud.
Showing its work.
It shows its work. Before it gives you the final answer, it generates this full step-by-step log of its own logic.
Why is that so important? I mean, it must add some processing time.
It does add time, but the sources are clear that this thinking-first method leads to higher quality, more accurate answers, especially for complex problems.
And you can see where it went wrong, if it does.
Exactly. You can debug the logic path. And for simple, quick stuff, you can just turn the trace off. It's flexible.
What's so fascinating is that both Alibaba and NVIDIA are moving past just building bigger and bigger models. They're combining different architectures, MOE, Mamba 2, specialized memory. They're focusing on smart design over just raw size.
And that innovation is what takes this from being a niche, expensive feature to something accessible. The competition is really, really heating up.
You can see that competition directly in the pricing, which affects you, the listener. Alibaba just cut the price of its biggest model, Qwen 3 Max, by almost half.
Slash their API rates? That's a huge market shift, and it's driven by these efficiency gains.
And the efficiency isn't just for developers saving money, right? It's about making it accessible for everyone.
For everyone. We are seeing so much excitement in the user community about running these massive models locally.
You mean running these things on a personal computer, not in some giant data center?
Exactly. The fact that you can run something like Nematron 3 Nano on a consumer graphics card like an RTX 3090 is a total game changer. And even with its full 1 million token context window active, you can run it locally at a pretty decent speed, about 12.5 words per second.
Wait, hold on. A 30 billion parameter model on an RTX 3090 at that speed. That sounds like the democratization of some serious AI power. What does that unlock for, the average person listening?
It means your most sensitive, data-heavy tasks, analyzing legal documents or complex financial data, or years of research, you can do it all locally, securely, cheaply.
Without having to send your data to the cloud for every little thing?
It puts the power of that really sophisticated long context analysis right on your desk.
So when we look at the big picture, what's the ultimate goal here? Is it just making models faster and cheaper?
I think the sources really emphasize that it's not just about technical efficiency. The goal is to train these models to go beyond what they were trained on,
To find new knowledge.
to rediscover unseen knowledge.
Yeah.
And, most importantly, to solve novel problems by connecting the dots from those super long stories.
It's the difference between a summarizer and a real detective.
A true digital intelligence that can connect things that weren't obviously connected before.
And that ability is what will make these tools truly transformative for you. When AI gets this good at long context reasoning, the tools you use every day, search engines, story generators, automation agents, they can handle much more complex instructions and give smarter, more reliable, and frankly, less hallucinatory answers.
But it does raise a really interesting question when you look at how they learn. The analysis shows this fascinating little glitch in the detective process.
A glitch.
Yeah. Sometimes the AI starts down a perfectly correct path. It identifies all the right clues, it follows the logic perfectly for a few steps, and then it makes this abrupt, wrong self-correction right at the end.
So a perfectly rational chain of thought where it has all the info it needs, just breaks at the last second.
And it gives the wrong answer. So why do you think a robot that starts thinking correctly and has proven it can pull facts from its little memory notebook decides to suddenly change its mind and choose the wrong answer? It's a fundamental challenge that our sources suggest we are still trying to fully understand.